Hello there folks, my name is Spoonks and welcome back to another episode of Box Office Chat. This is the show where I break down the top 5 domestic box office results, see where each movie landed, and see how well each movie did. So let's get started. Number 5 was Now You See Me, Now You Don't, making $2.3 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $59 million and its worldwide total to $207 million. Now You See Me continues to really be the sleeper hit right now. It actually did better than both Ella McKay and the re-release of The Grinch, which I wasn't expecting. I thought, being in the slowdown period, look how much it's making at this point. I thought, the one of those movies would easily top this, but no, this movie has really sustained its momentum and staying power thus far. It's been really impressive to see this movie stick around. It also, I think, says a lot more about the other movies than this movie, but I digress. Again, still much more in line with the second one than the first one. I think it's going to be about on par with where that movie landed, at least domestically. Worldwide, I just don't see it hitting 300 million, especially with all the big movies hitting the theaters this holiday season. But man, still, the fact that it's lasted this long in the top 5 and has made this much as it has really surprised me, I will say. I didn't expect the movie to do as well as it has, especially considering the reception it got from critics and audiences. But hey, here we are. This proved to be, again, a sleeper hit. Certainly a big surprise throughout this portion of the holidays for sure. Yeah, not much more else to say, but props to Now You See Me. It definitely impressed me. Number 4 was Durandar. I apologize if I mispronounced it, making $3.4 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $7 million and its worldwide total to $8 million. So yeah, another little surprise here. Another film from Bollywood, an Indian Hindi action film. Obviously, we've seen these movies pop up in the top 5 before, but I haven't seen them a lot as of recently. I'm honestly having a hard time remembering the last one that was in the top 5. But again, it's always nice to see one of these movies shake up the top 5. What's interesting is that this actually wasn't the first weekend. This is actually the film's second weekend, and it went up 62%. And it stayed in mostly the same amount of theaters as it was in last weekend. So this really was a word of mouth thing. I guess the audience was able to spread the word about how strong it was, and more people decided to give it a chance this weekend, which again is always nice to see something, shake up the top 5, but definitely something unexpected like this. It brings in nice diversity to the top 5, and again, always nice to see a pleasant little surprise here. Given the nature of these movies, these tend to be front loaded, and given the numerous amount of competition on the horizon, I doubt this lasts in the top 5. But again, this proved that it wasn't really front loaded. Again, this was the film's second weekend, and it actually went up when, and mostly in these cases, these movies tend to plummet. So yeah, really solid numbers here. Definitely a big surprise, and a pleasant one at that. Number 3 was Wicked for Good, making $8.5 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $312 million and its worldwide total to $468 million. So it is approaching $500 million worldwide, and it did stabilize itself after last week's huge drop-off. But yeah, it's pretty clear to me, and I think to a lot of you, that this is not going to be able to reclaim the magic that the first one was able to capture, as again, it's starting to fall behind the first one significantly. Again, the response has just not been as popular, but yeah, still the hype has significantly died down and is starting to lose its edge to the other big family movie that came out around Thanksgiving. More on that later. But still hugely successful. I doubt anyone is really upset over how the movie has done. Again, it was a tough act to handle here. Most people who have seen Wicked know that the second act is not as strong as the first, so they did the best they could, but unfortunately it still wasn't enough to bring more people to go and check this out. It didn't have the wow factor, and the songs weren't as strong, unfortunately, and I doubt it's going to be able to really leg itself out throughout the holidays like the first one did. Again, that movie just had the acclaim and the reception to really carry itself out, where this one seems to be more playing Moana 2, where yeah, it's successful, but it's clear that not as many people were satisfied with it. So yeah, still gonna be successful, still making money, but clearly gonna be a drop off from the first one. Number 2 was Five Nights at Freddy's 2, making $19 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $95 million and its worldwide total to $173 million. So the good news is that it will be surpassing the $100 million milestone domestically and the $200 million milestone worldwide, which is an even bigger benefit for this, as this is a $36 million movie. It's already made well past the quadrupling stage at this point. It's going to end Blumhouse on a high note this year, and I'm sure we'll probably get the announcement about Five Nights at Freddy's 3 in the future, as this is still the only major horror film out right now during the holly jolly time of the year, so I think it'll be able to stand out. Hopefully it can continue to bring in all the money it needs. With that being said, this movie still faced quite the hit this weekend. It fell 70% from last weekend, which is better than the first film's 76% drop off. But then again, that movie was released simultaneously in theaters and on Peacock. This is only in theaters, so definitely a really steep drop off this could be, because it was pretty front loaded, all the FNAF fans rushing out to see it that first weekend, or just the reception towards the movie. Again, the reception from both critics and audiences was much worse than the first film, so it could be that could also be a factor into how this movie is not really doing as well as the first one. It's still a successful movie, still going to make a lot for the studio, but again, it just didn't satisfy people like the first one did, and even that movie didn't really satisfy people that much to begin with. And even though this is the only horror movie out right now, again, the competition, there's a lot of big movies coming out this holiday season, and given that we're in the second weekend and it already fell 70%, I'm not sure if it's going to be able to stick around to really like make an even bigger name for itself or put itself on the same level as what the first one was able to accomplish. Yeah, overall, really steep drop off. Still very successful, still making a lot of money, but yeah, given all the other factors going into it, this is definitely pretty concerning. And finally, let's end the video off with the number 1 movie of the weekend, which was Zootopia 2, making $25 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $258 million and its worldwide total to $1.1 billion. That's right, ladies and germs. The film has officially surpassed the billion-dollar mark, becoming the fastest animated film to do so. And not only that, it is now the second biggest film of the year worldwide. It has surpassed the entire worldwide run of Lilo and Stitch and sits behind Nudja 2. I'm doubtful it'll reach that milestone, but the fact that it's been doing this well alone, and keep in mind we're just in the movie's third weekend, is really impressive to see, especially like in China. It is already the second biggest Hollywood film over there, behind Avengers Endgame. This movie has been crushing it in China alone. As far as domestically goes, yeah, the movie is still doing really well. I still think it's going to be able to surpass the first film's domestic total, given the strong reception it has gotten. The word of mouth continues to do its thing. It's bounced back from the steeper than expected drop off from last weekend. Again, I think that was just largely in part due to just the weekend after Thanksgiving, and more people are still going out to see it or just continuing to see it again and again. And you know, given how this movie is performing much better than Moana 2, as evident by how much better the movie has been holding compared to that movie, I think the Christmas bump is going to be much more of a bonus than a necessity, as I remember Moana 2 starting to struggle until like the Christmas holiday, where it really got that bump needed to help it out. This is definitely going to be a bit of a bonus, as the movie's been so successful already that this is just going to be extra cash, which is crazy to say about the Christmas holiday, but hey, look how much money this movie has made thus far. Yeah, another solid weekend for Zootopia 2. This does give me hope that it'll be able to play out throughout Christmas and the end of the year very, very well, even with the competition and the holiday season really I still think this is gonna put up a good fight against all those movies and still reach some highs that we still haven't seen from it, which is crazy again because look how much it's made. And those were the top 5 domestic box office results for this weekend, but we're not quite done yet as we've got another week ahead of us and new movies hitting theaters. And boy howdy folks, we got a busy weekend ahead of us. Everyone wants some of that Christmas cheddar this weekend. We got 4 big new wide releases, and believe it or not, I have a lot to say about each of them, so bear with me folks, we're doing a speed round. The SpongeBob movie. I see this movie doing pretty well. It's the holidays and this is one of the many family films out right now, so you gotta do something with the kids. I still think SpongeBob is such an iconic, beloved character by many, and I think many of the diehard SpongeBob fans are gonna rush out to see this. The marketing has been excellent. They've been doing a fantastic job promoting it. The billboards, the Burger King menu, the Ice Spice song, it's all really brought a lot of attention to this movie and really built up the buzz surrounding it. I did not see a lot of people talking about it beforehand until they really started ramping up the marketing, so I think that has definitely influenced and boosted up the interest and buzz surrounding the film. Problem is though, again, there's a lot of family movies out this holiday season, so it's going to really need to put up a good fight at the box office, and I think the oversaturation of the character in recent years with the number of movies and shows that are spun off from the mainline show may have soured some people's feelings towards the character, but I still think given the popularity and how much people admire the show, I still think this is going to leg itself out well throughout the holiday season. David, the next animated film from Angel Studios. After a big lawsuit, the studio is finally ready to release this next big animated film. Again, it's the holidays, you got to do something with the kids, and given the story it's telling, I think that's going to really boost a lot of people's interest in the film given the release and the holiday, and again the nature of the story. It's another one of the faith-based films, so obviously a lot of these people are going out to see it over the holiday weekend. The marketing has been very solid, been seeing a lot of promos about it, and yeah, I definitely think this is going to be another solid animated film for Angel Studios. Downside though is, again, a lot of family competition, gonna need to really put up a good fight against all of that. And also I worried that this is going to be another King of Kings situation where that movie made most of its money through just that Easter holiday and then it completely fell off after that. I can see something similar happening with David. Obviously the Christmas holiday window is a much bigger movie going time than Easter, but still that's definitely something likely to happen with this movie. But if it manages to avoid that and continues to reach the high expectations I have for it, then I think again this will really deliver over the Christmas holiday. The Housemaid. I can see this one surprising a lot actually. It's one of the few films this weekend that isn't geared towards families or is a big blockbuster. It's based off of a best-selling book, but it's not something you take the kids to. It's a thriller about this housemaid who unlocks some secrets about this rich family. The marketing has been really excellent. They've been really doing a good job pushing and promoting it. It actually had its own episode on Celebrity Family Feud. Okay, and the buzz does seem to be there. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about this, getting interested, especially fans of the book. Apparently the book is wild, so a lot of fans of the book are curious to see how people will respond to how the movie handles it. And again, I think the star power is really gonna sell this with Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried. I think the downside here is really going to depend on the reception the movie has. If this movie does not deliver on being a good movie or a good adaptation of the book, I think it's going to plummet and succumb to just failing to meet the other expectations of the other films out right now. It just falls to the wayside against the competition. But if it does prevail, I definitely think it's going to be one of the big Christmas surprises that takes off and defies a lot of people's expectations. Yeah, I have a lot of hope for this. I think this could definitely be a big surprise. And then lastly, there's Avatar: Fire and Ash, the third installment of James Cameron's big franchise. This is easily going to be the big holiday movie to see. There's nothing really on the same level as this right now. Marketing has been solid, been seeing a lot of push and promotion for it as of recently, and again because of how big and grand it is, they're really pushing the premium large format. See this in 3D, IMAX, you name it. Think that's going to really boost a lot of people's interest with this. And while these movies don't have the biggest openings, they tend to leg out and really hit some highs that people don't expect to see for these movies, and I think this one will be no different. With that said, however, I don't think it'll be as big as the predecessors, simply because I just don't see the hype as much as what I saw with the last movie. I think just timing for that, waiting so long for it to come out, and it finally, after all these years coming out, really helped and boosted that movie's performance. Here it's coming out so much sooner, so I think a lot of people are just know what to expect with this one. Okay, it's going to be another Avatar movie, dazzling visuals, gorgeous 3D and whatnot. So I think it'll be interesting to see if it's able to maintain the audience and interest that we saw with the last movie, or if we'll see a bit of a decline. But still, though, I think this is easily going to be the big holiday movie of the season. I have a lot of high expectations for this. But we'll see how well this movie and the rest of the movies that are hitting theaters this weekend and where they land on the top 5 on the next Box Office Chat. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Box Office Chat. What did you all think of the results? Were you satisfied, unsatisfied? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all those social media links right there. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.